Mark here from Mark 2.0. We got another great guest today. Brian is my co-host as always, and we want to make sure that you watch this podcast episode through its entirety because, all of our guests are so inspiring, but this one in particular. We'd like to welcome Anton Clifford out of Atlanta to the podcast. Anton, welcome to the Mark 2.0 podcast. We're thrilled to have you on.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's great. Now, I want to start out by talking about your most recent production that you've done, Takeover. What can you tell us about that, and how did you get that role to begin with?
All right, Takeover is one of those auditions where it wasn't written for somebody in a wheelchair. So actually, when I first got an audition for the movie. It was for a smaller role. And then they came back, I think it was a week later, I auditioned for another role. And then they came back another time for a different character. So I auditioned 3 times for that show, 3 different characters.
Ha.
So they were trying to fit me in. And in the third audition, they were like, yeah, your character's gonna be a wrench and this is who you're gonna play. And it went, I got the third audition, actually the last audition, I got it kind of like last minute. I had like 3 hours to get it knocked out.
Wow.
So I went with my coach. I went with my coach in Atlanta, Robert Pralgo, who's been with me for two and a half years, basically as long as I've been acting almost. But
nice.
Yeah, we knocked it out together, and then I got the call back week later, and it let me know that I was in consideration for the role. And it means that you're just penned for it, meaning that maybe it's between you. It's got down to maybe you and 2 other people.
Wow, fascinating. And you said you had 3 different roles, and this one was the biggest one, was it?
Yeah, because the first audition that I auditioned for the movie was like maybe 2 lines 3 lines. It was a smaller role, and then the second one was smaller, and then this one came with a whole scene. And then when I got on the movie, I mean, I'm grateful they gave me 5 scenes in the movie. It turned into 5 scenes.
Wow, 5
Beautiful.
scenes. That's unreal. Now, where was this movie filmed at? What city?
Actually filmed at the green screen right here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, green screen. Tell us about the green screen.
Oh yeah, green screen is for all actors that use their imaginations, really, because there's nothing really there to feed off of, man. It's like we take improv classes as actors, and we have to just use imaginary circumstances. Depending, oh yeah, we're here. So I'm glad that I took improv classes before getting that role. I know Marvel uses green screens a lot. And
sure, I can imagine.
sci-fi movies that go that route, but this is my first experience with a green screen. But hey,
was it one of the larger studios in Atlanta? Is that where they did it?
It was actually in like a warehouse type of thing, so it was big. It was huge though. Where they did it, they set it up. So
yeah,
I don't know if they film movies there all the time. I'm guessing they may, but yeah, it was cool. Like it was just a cool experience. And then some of the big names in the movie are, of course, Quavo is the lead from the Migos, Quavo. And then Billy Zane from the Titanic, he's in it.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a pretty decent. I can't wait to see the final product.
When is it coming out, or it's not even finished yet?
They haven't even. They're doing editing right now.
Oh,
so
sure.
probably.
Okay.
I'm guessing with movies it could take a year and a half. They said next year sometime. So they didn't really let us know a specific date when it's gonna drop, but I know it's coming out next year. They said.
Unreal.
Exciting stuff. So much going on in Atlanta these days, isn't there?
Oh yeah, man. Everything's going on in Atlanta. Really, I know so many actors that are coming here now from LA and New York now, and yeah, it seems to be the spot now.
And
like
what do
Marvel's
you think?
Here.
Who was the one that was the forefront in that? Was that because of Tyler Perry Studios, or was there other players involved?
I think it was a combination of everything. Maybe Tyler Perry, Marvel. You got all these TV series like before Black Lightning was canceled. You had Ordinary Joe here. I think it wasn't renewed.
And they have so many shows. It's cheaper to film there, wouldn't you say?
Right. Walking Dead is here too. So,
and big movies moved over there. Like Anchorman 2 was filmed there. One of our friends, William Tokarski, he was in that movie.
Yeah, Black Panther was filmed right here too. Like Bad Boys with Will Smith is right here. I think they filmed some of it. Coming to America.
The original or the remake?
Well, I think there's four Bad Boys now. I think there's Bad Boys for Life. Yeah. I think it was filmed right here in Atlanta. It was actually filmed right here in Atlanta. It was at Tyler Perry Studios.
Wow. And what about your role in the one on Oprah Network, Queen Sugar. How
Sugar.
did you get that?
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you that. That's a whole experience right there.
Okay.
Please
That was my
start from
first.
the beginning.
That was my first national television role. All right, so I got it. It's about this. Where is September right now?
It is.
October.
Yeah.
We're in October. We're in October, right?
Oh yeah, we are. It's October 2nd.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
It's October 2nd, man. I'm telling you, I can't even keep up with the time no more. But yeah, this is December. Well, yeah, December 2020.
Okay.
My agent hits me up while I was at physical therapy. She keeps sending me texts, and she was like, "Hey, I pitched you for this project. I pitched you for this project." I said, "Okay." This is my second audition ever. I'm new to acting, so I'm like, "This is my second audition I've ever gotten in my life." The first audition was for Legacies, but yeah, I didn't book it. But that's a different story.
Whoa.
But yeah. So my second, so she hits me up, and I keep getting my phone keeps blowing up while I'm in physical therapy working with my therapist, Tony. And he keeps looking. He's looking down at my phone, and he's like, "Yeah, your agent keeps texting you, man. Must be something important." So I ignore it. I go on with my session for therapy. I'm not going to stop my physical therapy. Whatever she has to say, it can wait until I get back home because I can't do anything anyway. I'm not home. So I'm looking. My therapist keeps telling me, he's like, "Yeah, time, whatever this is, man. We might need to just cut this a little short. You need to go home." Because she's sending me, she's like, "Can you have any videos of you improv-ing? Are you videos of you doing this?" I'm like, "No, I don't have any videos of anything. I didn't have any footage. I just had headshots."
Sure.
And, she asked me to when I got back home, she was like, "I pitched you for the show named Queen Sugar," and she was like, "They may want you just to improv a scene and send it in." So yeah, I'm at the house. I had my mom and my neighbor. She's like my god sister as my reader. I'm like, yeah, in case of anything, to do the self tape and everything, to film up the tripod and all that. So I get everything set up and I get ready to improv this cop scene. And then she texts me and said, "Hey, they got the script." So I'm like, "What? A script?" I get like 5.5, 6 pages. I'm like, "What?" And so I said, I text my agent back and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll get it knocked out. We'll have it tomorrow morning." She was like, "No, they want it in the next 3 hours." I said, "What?"
Oh,
So they want me to memorize
snap.
6 pages in 3 hours.
How did
So
you
then
do
I called my
that?
coach. I don't know. I just pulled it off. I don't know how I did it, man. I locked myself. I called my coach, Robert Prowgo, and we went over it for like an hour straight on the phone. And he was like, "Yeah, I think you got it. I think you got it, kid. I think you got it. I think you got it." He was like, "Just practice it a little bit more. Practice it a little bit more." So after I got off the phone with him, I started working on it. What I did is I recorded myself, and because I can't move my fingers, I'm paralyzed from my chest down. So I have no movement in my fingers. So I used my iPad and I was using my knuckles and tapped it. It recorded myself with my voice, audio, speaking the lines, and then listened back to it like 30 minutes straight. Just locked myself in my room. I didn't want to talk to anybody.
Wow.
And then came the self tape. So I went ahead and I did it kind of. I had a bootleg it. I had to throw a cardboard box and I threw a sheet over it, a green sheet over it. And we just did it in my room. We just did the audition in my room. We just knocked it out. Me and my mom was helping me, and my god sister was helping me. She was my reader. And then I sent it in. Then the trouble was after sending it in was getting it edited and everything like that.
Sure.
So I forgot to edit some parts of it. So I'm new to acting. I didn't know what to really do all the way. So I gave it to my coach. And he worked on editing it. So I sent it in, and my agent she was happy with the audition itself. It went good. I'm glad I was able to pull it off. And yeah, it was a waiting game. So I didn't hear anything back the next day. But then the next day, my agent said, "Hey, Oprah and them are going with you. You got the job." I said, "What?"
Wow.
So she was like, "Can you be on a plane and go to New Orleans tomorrow?" I said, "Tomorrow?" And they want you to do COVID testing and everything. You have to be at a certain studio in Atlanta and do COVID testing before you fly out.
Wow.
So I was like, "Oh my goodness. Hey, let me tell my mom, because I'm in a chair. I can't just get up and run."
Oh, exactly.
So I had to get a whole bunch of things organized very, very quick, like last minute. I told my mom, and she was happy. Of course, we're all happy that I got the role. And I'm just worried about, like, hey, my whole thing in the back of my head is, what if I get this role? I'm getting COVID tested right now before I leave. I have to go on an airplane and travel. And what if I catch COVID on the airplane and then get there and test positive on the studio? What's going to happen?
Oh, because there's so many tests involved. Okay.
There's so many tests involved, man. Like after I got the test done in Atlanta, I was cleared to go to New Orleans. And we were on the plane, and we flew to New Orleans, and we landed. All right, the next day on set, and 2 COVID tests came up. So I had to test again for COVID. And I'm grateful that I was negative every time. But
yeah.
and then after that, like the whole time I was on the plane, I was looking at my lines too, because this is my first time ever having this pressure, having to deliver on this. On a project like this. At that time I was only acting for a year, so most actors don't get thrown into the fire that early.
No, not at all. And most people don't get the opportunity that you got.
Well, you're pretty handsome. They scooped you right up there, didn't they? Wow.
Yeah,
good
appreciate
job,
it, man.
Wow.
Also, how did you get a manager and an agent and a coach, professional coach? Was that hard not having any work in the industry?
What you mean? I had an agent. I was able to get an agent. An agent actually found me. Like, she was following me on social media, and that's when she it kind of happened because I was on a set for Black Lightning. My friend used to work for the costume department. I think I told you yesterday.
Yeah.
And he invited me to go on set for Black Lightning. And then one of the guys who was an actor on Black Lightning said his agent wanted to represent me. She's been following me on social media one time, and then she just sent me a text, and then she was like, "Do you want to be represented?" I was like, "Of course, yeah." Who doesn't?
Great.
What actor doesn't want to have representation?
No,
Things
you
are
need
just
it.
moving at like 1,000 miles an hour for you at this point, man. Everyone's just after you.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It was just great. But I really dedicated myself and put in the work. Like I really did. Because I had a coach, and then I was taking classes at this place called Nick Conti in Buckhead in Atlanta before I even got into before I had the coach that I have right now. And I started taking Zoom classes. Like during COVID, some actors chose to lay back and just take their foot off the gas. Like I use COVID as my advantage, because most of the teachers that weren't giving, for instance, most of the teachers that were charging like $500 for classes, everybody was doing Zoom classes for like $100. So I can get trained by Crystal Carson in Los Angeles from my basement. And I took advantage of it. Me and one of my friends, we were in the basement just working on different things, like just training with different coaches, learning different techniques. And we took advantage of the whole COVID time to accelerate the skill and get better at the craft. So even though I got the opportunity to have to deliver on a show like Queen Sugar, I was ready. I've been training the whole time. So it gave me time to catch up. So, of course the experience itself, like when I went there at first and I saw like the whole setup, they shut down the whole French Quarter Square for us to shoot that scene in New Orleans. So, and then they're escorting me to the scene. And I see all the production setting up, and I see all this money going in. I'm like, dang, this is crazy. This can't even be real. Me, a guy that just started acting a year ago, I'm about to go on here and just deliver this scene. But I knew the scene was very, very. I read the script, and I knew that it was a very touching message. So I was like, yeah, let me just go in there and be authentic, and try to represent the disabled community in a way that just makes us look good and is authentic.
Yeah, what a beautiful story. That's awesome. Gosh, so you did all that, and now you're just trying to relax. What do you do to relax? You're so busy all the time.
I really don't even relax, honestly. I'll tell you the truth. Like I'm always doing training or doing something. I'm studying the craft most of the time. I spend time with my coach, or like I work on writing short films, or I have all type of stuff. Netflix.
Why don't you mention a couple of your short films right now? One or two that you have done. What are those like? What are they about?
I did a romance short film about. I actually wrote it with my friend named Michelle. It's about a paralyzed guy like trying to make love to his wife. He wasn't able to function the way he wanted to, but she didn't care about that. She cared about him as a person. So even though that he wasn't able to please her the way he wanted to, and it was making him aggravated as a man, and it could make any man that's paralyzed aggravated, because every injury is different. So my injury, I can't speak for everybody. The spinal cord affects everybody in different ways. Like there's some guys that are paralyzed that can still feel their legs but can't move their legs, and there's some guys that are paralyzed that can still get it up. So it's just everybody depends on your spinal cord injury and how the severity of the injury itself, the spinal cord. So I know a lot of spinal cord injuries can relate to that film that I did, the short film. Because a lot of guys, we have to go that route through artificial insemination and stuff like that. Find different ways to mean, make love to your wife or whatever, or please a woman or whatever you're dating, whoever you're dating.
Well, bless your heart for focusing on such important subject matter that's like, you know, largely ignored, you know. I mean, that's so awesome that you do that. What was it like? What are your parents like?
My parents are cool. Like my mom is
Yeah.
from Jamaica.
I
My
was
mom
gonna
is from
say,
Jamaica.
Wow.
awesome.
And my
From
dad is from
Jamaica.
Tennessee, and they both were military. So my mom
Oh,
was in
that's
Bless their
my
heart.
awesome.
mom was
Wow.
in she was in the army, and my dad was in the Navy. So you can
Oh,
imagine.
great
If I wasn't paralyzed,
parents.
I was going to the military.
Oh,
Yeah, I was in the ROTC already, so that was the path. I wanted to be a military cop actually. So I hope to play a military role eventually.
they made you tough. That's so awesome. Oh, that's why you're so driven.
Oh yeah, it has.
You
I
were
mean, I
trained to
really
be driven.
honestly.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no time to feel sorry for yourself. It's like next man up, next man up. Like until you complete the mission, you don't lay back.
I love
Oh
it.
gosh, I love that too. That is so awesome. So when did you realize you were gonna be in acting? And did your parents, they were cool with that and stuff?
Oh
And
my gosh, it's another story, man. It's another story how I
oh,
got into acting.
please
Because
do.
people ask me
Yeah.
like how things, because things been going quick. Because I've only been doing it for 3 years, but before I was an actor, I was a DJ. I used to DJ at like
Wow.
house parties and party and clubs and stuff like that. But I mean, that lifestyle, like, is kind of hard. Like going to sleep, going out downtown Atlanta, DJing, coming back 3 o'clock in the morning all the time. And
Yeah.
I knew over time that I couldn't keep it up. Not in a wheelchair the way I am. Not, I mean, I liked it. On top of that, I would have to depend on so many people to help me behind the scenes, like so many people, and I'm having to keep them up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I started thinking to myself, yeah, I mean, what else can I do in my life? Like, what else can I do? Because I mean, I did motivational speaking. And then my friend Michelle's, so well, I almost said Swell. She just got married. Her last name is Parks. But and my friend Michelle Parks, she kept call. She called me. She's in acting, and she was like, hey, "Yeah, Anton, you should try acting." I told her, I said, "Hell no, I'm not an actor." Well, like,
And then look
what
at
makes you think
this.
what makes you think that I can do acting? Like, I can't memorize lines. I just don't see myself doing it. Like, well, who wants to see somebody in a wheelchair on TV? She was like, Anton, you'll be surprised. I said, well, okay. And I ignored her. And then she called me back 2 months later. She was like, Anton, I think you should try acting. I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, I said, what do I have to gain, though? That's what I told her. And then I ignored her again. And the third month, she said, Anton just really, bro, because she's like my sister. She was like, bro, man, you should really just try acting. Like, try it.
Anton, we
Get
talk
out.
to a lot of people. This is a common pattern.
Mm.
Someone just says like, get in there, get in
Yeah,
there.
they push you in
Yeah,
there, and
just
then yeah.
Yes. They
yeah.
knew
She's
you
like,
had
yeah.
something.
She was like, go in there and try it. I mean, do it. Like, go to classes. Like, I started taking the classes. I went there and sat in the class. I audited my first class at Nick Conti's in Buckhead in Atlanta. I sat in there. I was like, yeah, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, how do these people memorize all these lines? Like, how do they bring authentic performances too? I still had my doubts. So I was like, you know what? Hey, what do I have to lose? Like, I told Michelle, I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll sign up for a month. So I went in for a month. I mean, I was horrible when I first started too. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. Like if I had my first acting video, it was horrible.
Mm.
But I knew that something that I could get better at, and I saw myself help. I looked at the bigger picture. I was like, let me just represent the disabled community because I know disabled people want to see themselves represented in an authentic way on TV. Whether somebody sees me that's paralyzed in a wheelchair or with cerebral palsy or something, thinks that, oh yeah, maybe not necessarily they need to be an actor. Maybe they feel like they could be a doctor. Maybe they feel like they could be an author or something to that another route. They can feel motivated to go
Sure.
do something with their life besides sitting in a room and just thinking about your situation, stuff like
Mm.
that. So I was like, yeah, let me do this through acting. And people don't like people that are disabled. We don't like to see people that are not disabled playing us because they can't relate. We can
Yeah,
always
I
pick
know
up
what
on
you
little
mean.
things that they do that we're like, nah, that's not real. No, nobody's disabled, not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let me carry that wave and go into it and see where it takes me. I didn't have any. I went in. I mean, I told my teacher, I was like, yeah, one day I'm gonna get an Oscar. He was like, okay, but
Yeah, I
so I
believe
went
that.
in. I went in with the mindset that I'm just gonna give it my all and see what happens out of it. Like, because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it challenges me too, like as a person, and I'm sorry to see a side of myself that I never knew existed. I was able to use my experiences from like, I mean, I've been on life support in real life. I was on life support when I was 16 when the accident happened. The
Wow.
car accident that paralyzed me, and my cousin died in the accident. So I was able to use those experiences and bring them to act because acting is an art itself. It's just expression. It's
Mm.
real life. Like, I mean, real life, every day we're acting. We wake up with an objective that we have to go do something. I mean, you wake up, you have your routine. You probably say, oh, yeah, I got to take a shower, brush my teeth, put cologne on, hopefully. But
Mhm.
yeah, do what you got to do. And you go for it. Like, it's no different than acting. Like, we're going for it toe to toe with one person. And we're listening to the other person and responding, hopefully in an authentic way. And hopefully we're really listening to the other person and letting it affect us. So, man, yeah, I mean, I'm paralyzed, but I can't. My thing I was scared about getting into acting was the physicality. I was like, yeah, I can't move. And you see Tom Cruise and all those guys, Dwayne Johnson, I'm moving around, jumping around. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can't do that. But then I realized that just being stillness is power.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. But you're an amazing guy, handsome, charismatic, happy and positive, and you're going to bring a lot of happiness to people. And really, isn't that the ultimate goal here? And I know you're already doing that. I'm sure through your acting and social media, you're just got blowing up all over the place. I mean, you got people, running after you, it seems like, and this is only going to get bigger and better, I think.
Oh yeah, only way is up, and I have a good agent too. I have a great agent. Like, let me shout out to my agent Barbara with Aligned Stars. I really want to shout her out because you know what she does. Like, there's a thing that she does that I respect a lot. Like, when she submits me for roles, she submits me for both. Like, roles that are looking for somebody in wheelchairs and roles that are not
Roles that
looking for
aren't
somebody in
okay.
wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just like the movie I just got. They weren't. I talked to the producers of the show after. I tried to figure out how I got in the role. They sat at a table. They were like, they all executive producers, directors. Like, yeah, why can't this character not be in a wheelchair? And the fact that they thought about that just makes me know that I'm doing my part. Because they're gonna see the disabled people. They're gonna see us as people. They're not just seeing this as, oh yeah, Anton in a wheelchair. They're saying it as Anton Clifford. He's a person just like everybody else.
It says a
You're a
lot about
person
the
just like
production
everybody.
too.
A lot, man. And same thing, Nickelodeon did the same thing too. When I auditioned for
Oh,
Nickelodeon, it
okay.
wasn't written for somebody in a wheelchair, but I auditioned for it, and then the director, like, he's cool, Matt. His name's Matt Stosky, and he was like, "Yeah, why can't the character not be in a wheelchair?"
And was that in
But yeah,
Atlanta also?
everything that except Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar was in New Orleans, but everything I've done so far has been in Atlanta. I did an NBC. I worked on an NBC pilot. It didn't get picked up. It's called Dangerous Moms, but it was right here in Atlanta.
Okay.
It
I
was a good
saw it on
experience. It
IMDb.
was
Okay, it didn't get picked up. I've been on shows that
it was
haven't been picked up either. I know it.
Dangerous Moms. What was the subject matter?
I mean, it was a Spanish moms, and they were all crazy. They had Shanola Hampton from Shameless. You know Shanola Hampton from Shameless?
Yeah, okay. I worked
Yeah,
on Shameless a bunch of times.
I was on set with her. It was me and her. Dasha Paloka from Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah.
She plays Daya. She was on set with me. Linda Park from Star Trek. She was on set. She was on set with me. I was working with what's her name? Talma Hopkins from Family Matters. She played with Steve Urkel.
Yeah, okay.
It was a good. I was surprised the pilot didn't get picked up too, because I would have appeared. I would have been back in it too. It would have been more. It would have been a reoccurring. So,
but as you
it is
know,
what it
that's
is.
just how it happens. Yeah.
You
think
should go over to
something's really
Star Trek.
great
You'd
and
be
it
great in
doesn't.
that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good experience, man. Like, my dream is to get on the show, like, something like Blackish or something like that. That's going to be just where you can grow with that character and people know you resonate with it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I've been on
cool.
that show too a few times actually. And it's the
Man,
funniest
you've been on
thing.
everything.
It's a small world.
Like one of them, we were inside a Shakey's Pizza filming. I don't know if you remember Shakey's, Brian. Shakey's Pizza. I don't know if they had it in Phoenix.
No,
but it was.
I hadn't had that in Arizona.
They had like arcades and it was pizza. It was a big deal, but it was called something else on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Shakey's Pizza, my dad told me about it. He was in Tennessee. He told me growing up that was the pizza spot.
Yeah, it had like the games. It was kind of like Chuck E. Cheese, but not as elaborate. And I think they showed like cartoons too. Yeah.
So kind of like what, Stevie B's or CC's Pizza?
Oh yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Charlotte at one point. So we had it in Atlanta. We have Stevie. I don't know if we still have Stevie B's. We had it like 5 years ago.
Okay, yeah. Well, what kind of scenes were you doing in your acting class? Do you have any that you'd like to share?
Oh yeah, I did. I did scenes that challenged myself. I did scenes where I was playing drug dealers.
Wow.
Like that.
Mm.
That's total opposite of who I am as a person. But we all have that part in us anyway. We all have evil. We all have good. So I mean, I challenged myself. I would play roles that, I mean, of course, I can't. I mean, I would be cursing and everything like that. But yeah. I mean, I like to challenge myself and play those type of roles. Like, and then I would play like, I mean, they did a lot of military veteran roles that they had me reading for, like an injured veteran.
That's
Oh
great.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Stuff to that nature. But
Chris
yeah, I mean,
Pratt's doing that season 2 of Terminal List.
that got picked up for another season.
I heard it was, right?
Yeah, we had
What?
one of the actors, Ben Mio McRae, on, and
Yeah,
he said
Daniel
that
McRae
Awesome,
was.
it was
man.
going
I
to
love
be
that show.
on picked up for a second season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was it. He's like season 2. I'm like, oh yes. I didn't even know.
Oh yeah, I finished. I watched the whole thing. I just finished watching the Jeffrey Dahmer
Oh,
series. Yes.
oh really?
Wow.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
I've seen that.
Evan Peters killed it.
I don't know, man. I watched the commercial. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not ready to start this yet.
Oh man, nah, man. But as an actor, I don't like him to go to that dark place. Evan Peters. I know he's from Marvel and he's from American Horror Story. When I watched his
Yeah,
acting
okay.
in that, he sounds spot on. He sounds just like him. He moved just like him. He did it. It's like he studied him to a science,
Mm.
which is crazy when you watch him. And then I sat there yesterday and watched Jeffrey Dahmer's old interviews and stuff like that. Because I mean, I wasn't around when he did all that. I wasn't even alive when he did all that. I wasn't even
Yeah.
91. I was nowhere to be. I wasn't here. But
Well,
yeah,
did
yeah.
you watch American Horror Story?
I've seen some of it. I haven't seen
Oh,
a lot
some
of
of it. Okay, because I think I'm pretty sure I worked on that at Fox. It was like an award show. It was really out there. Let's just put it that way.
Ask him about
yeah.
the Nickelodeon thing, Mark.
Yeah, that's the one that he was talking about it.
Oh.
Talk a little bit more about that Nickelodeon show, California
So
Dreaming.
Yeah, it's called California Dreaming.
Yeah.
It premiered on TV. It came on television last year. I think it's still on Hulu right now. But yeah, I was playing a stagehand, so like I was directing the kids and telling them where to come, and like it was a talent show. It was basically like American Idol, a kid's version of American
Okay.
Idol.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and my character was just basically just telling them where to go and just telling them you're up next, blah blah blah. I was kind of directing the kids where to go. I was playing 21 years old, and most of the kids on set were like 12, 13. But yeah, I mean, every person, even though I was older, still dreamed to be on Nickelodeon. Like, I mean, I love Nickelodeon.
Sure, I
and Disney.
grew up with it. All those TV shows.
I grew up with Cat Dog and Keenan and Kel and all that other
Even
stuff.
Omar Gooding. I don't know if you remember, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother was on there.
What show was it?
He did
All That?
this Wild and Crazy Kids, where you do like sports type physical events, and there'd be like 3 teams: the red team, the blue team. And that was his first role.
Wow, I think I have to look back on that, man. I remember Nickelodeon Slime Time. I remember that.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
I did.
on
I got
YouTube.
I got slimed one time before I was paralyzed. I went to Universal Studios and they slimed me.
Oh wow, what was that like?
Well, it tastes like applesauce.
Oh wow, we would have never.
I always wanted to do that.
Yeah,
That
They
looks
picked me out
so
of the
fun.
audience too because I put my hand up and I mean I just put my hand up. I remember I was like maybe 12 years old. I put my hand up and they were like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna slime you."
Oh, I'm gonna slime you one day, Mark, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be a good Mark 2.0 prank. Oh,
so yeah, you've only just begun. Do you have a mentor yet? Who do you turn to?
I got two really mentors that I really come to in the industry, like a lot. My coach, Robert Pralgo, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's filming right now as we speak, so he's always busy. He's always staying busy. And Steve Darren, like those two guys, like they play like a big part of my life when it comes to the industry and just leading me in the right way. And of course, I have my close friends like Philip Thomas and stuff like that. They're actors like myself, and my boy DeMarco, who's with me on set sometimes and helping me with my auditions behind the scenes too, like driving me in my auditions, and of course my little brother. But as far as when it comes to acting, like Robert Prago, and Steve Darren. They give me so much
Mm.
advice. Like I can call them at any time of the night. I can call them at 1 o'clock in the morning. They're still gonna. They may not like it, but they're still gonna answer the phone and give me. I may say, hey, Rob, did you think in that script? What tactic do you think I need to use to achieve this objective? I'm reading lines. I take this. I mean, I look at the scripts and I try to dissect them as far as like how would I be in that situation. I don't never. Every time I look at the script, it's Anton featuring Anton. I never try to think about the writers. You look at the writer's vision, but you have to think about yourself too. How would you play that so it becomes authentic? And I may call my coach and say, hey, would it make sense to do that? He's like, hey, Rob tells me, he's like, my opinion can't get you anything. Can't get you a buck of coffee. I mean, a cup of coffee on a good day. So you do what you want to do. But yeah, I mean, maybe we could try this tactic right here. Maybe you could flirt in this scene, flirt this part, even if it doesn't make sense, because the audience doesn't know what you're doing, what you're thinking about in your head, what tactic you're using. They just see what they see on TV. And the thing about camera, I learned about camera, you can never lie to the camera. The camera picks up everything. It's a tattletale. You can't fake it because the camera picks up everything. So if you're faking it, the camera's these little lenses are gonna pick up on it.
I like that. So you better know. You better be in the moment.
You better, because I couldn't fake it when I was in New Orleans. I was using my substitutions, and I'm working the girl that I did the scene with. Lady, she's the lead of the whole show, Tina Wesley. She's from I don't know if you're familiar with the show True, but at first that was her big one.
Wow.
That's probably why you're so good and they like you. You're very analytical. You get right down in there, you know, and I mean, heck, you even looked up real footage of Jeffrey Dahmer because some TV show that was on, you know, so you're really analyzing everything very closely, and it's probably just really showing in your performances. So kudos to you. I mean, good job, man.
And you're thinking outside the box, I would say. So many people are saying, what would the director, what would the writer think? And you're doing the exact opposite. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they don't know what they know. They don't know what they want until they see it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I tell actors too, and some actors, I mean, they look at me as a rookie because I mean, they'll wonder how am I getting these jobs. But I look at the scripts, I'm looking at like, yeah, even though they say the character's 46 years old, why are they sending you an audition? I'm not 46. Have you ever thought they may be thinking about making the character younger and they just haven't had time to update the scripts? I tell them that too.
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
So when they send you the audition, don't turn it down because it says 46 or white male and you're a black male, because there's so many things that go on behind the scenes where they flip things quick and say, oh yeah, we may want to be open to having a black male play the character. So I try to take everything with just from that sense to know that, hey, I'm auditioning. The fact that they give you audition, that's a win right there. But your job is just to do your good work and just to book the room and show them what you can do. Because if you're not right for that role, they can think about you for the other role. I mean, just like for the movie, audition 3 times. That's a great
point. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you got the right attitude. You got the right formula. You got a great look. You got mentors all over the place. What's going to happen if this takes off? Where do you see, let's say in 5 years, you get a vision right now in 5 years. Where do you see yourself if everything just runs just smoothly and perfectly?
Honestly, I think in 5 years, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked by the end of this year or next year, whatever, if I become a series regular in something.
A series regular, yeah.
Yeah, just into a series regular and just keep working my way up, like just right into a series, because the series are becoming more creative nowadays too. Like they're
so good. It's like a 10-hour movie.
And what's great, and we've talked about this before, is now that they have Amazon doing content, Hulu, Netflix, there's much more opportunities. And a lot of people are going to outside of LA, like Brian and I have talked about several times. And Atlanta is just a hot spot. Atlanta, North Carolina is a hot spot. So you're in that area.
You're smart too. It was Keith Coogan that was telling us how you get into a series like that, and it's really like very good pay, you know, and it goes on, you know, and that's like everyone really, that's really the smart thing to aim for. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I was about to say the same thing as you. Like, that's the thing that everybody wants to be. You read my mind, actually. I was going to say every actor, we all want to be series regulars because you just want to. I mean, when I was on set for the movie, I didn't want to leave set. I was so excited. I just loved doing it so much. Like the director asked me, I did the scene already, and I shot the scene already. He was like, "Anton, you're here still. Why are you still looking at the camera? Why are you still saying lines? The scene's over." He said, "You can relax." I was like, "Nah, man. I just enjoy doing the scene."
That's awesome. Well, it seems like your only challenge is the accident. I mean, what other challenge did you have? Any other challenges at all, Anton, as far as acting and stuff besides, the accident?
Well, I mean, your body, the spinal cord injuries, we all go through ups and downs. Like one day my body may have a urinary tract infection or something like that. But I've learned to push through it though, regardless. Like your blood pressure might be low one day. You have to depend on a lot of people to get a lot of things done. So you just have to listen to your body. That's what I tell anybody. Because I mean, a lot of spinal cord injuries, I feel like a lot of people that are disabled are scared to get into acting because of that. They're like, oh yeah, do I have the endurance to do it? I mean, I work out, I stay in shape. Like I keep myself in tip top shape. And yeah, like that's really it. They may doubt that. It's the other things that their bodies go through that they're just scared to get into it. So I mean, once you can conquer that though, realize that I tell myself that nothing lasts forever. But that's how I psych myself out, really.
Yeah.
Even if I'm having a day where I'm not feeling good or anything like that, I just tell myself like, hey, this the universe right now. It's telling me something. But nothing lasts forever. I'm gonna be good.
I do the same thing. You mentioned Star Trek earlier, and I'm a big Star Trek fan. And Mr. Spock said one time, "All things end." It's a reminder to me that all things end, and once in a while when things are getting crazy and you think about that, it kind of calms me down somehow. It kind of makes me, I don't know, put things into perspective, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Star Trek, Star Wars. What they say, fear is a path to the dark side.
There we
Well
go.
said.
Yeah.
I'm one with the Force. The Force is one with me.
I love that
I love
scene. Those guys are great.
I'm a diehard Star Wars fan.
Oh man,
so are
us
we.
too. Us too. We can't get
And
enough of it.
Avatar too. Like Avatar is my favorite movie of all time, though.
Big things coming. I don't even.
Yeah.
Do you when is that coming? I keep hearing coming, never comes.
December.
Is it? Oh
wow.
my goodness.
I went to Disney World a few months ago and I saw like the Avatar world and Avatar land. I went there. They built like a whole land based on the movie Pandora, like a whole Pandora at Disney World. You can fly like they have a ride that you feel like you're flying on one of the banshees on your stomach. I got on the ride, I forgot I was even paralyzed. That's how good it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I've never
intense,
even
man.
been to Disney World. I guess that'd be a great reason to go right there, man. Wow.
They got Star Wars land. Well, they got Star Wars land in Disneyland too in California.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good, but I hear the Florida one is a lot better. I gotta get over there. That's a good idea.
I was there when I was real young, but that's about it.
Yeah, I went to one in California too. I went to Disney California Adventure and Disneyland, both of them. So I mean, it can't compare to the one in Florida though.
No,
the one in Florida
I
is
don't
way
think so.
bigger.
That's what I hear all the time.
That settles it. I'm gonna do that. So you got any up and coming projects you wanna give us a teaser on?
I just auditioned for 2 things, so I can't speak what it is because of non-disclosure. Sure. But hey, fingers crossed. If I get it, it'll be a movie, another movie, and then television show. And I did the audition yesterday, so we'll see what happens. Or no, today's what? Today's what? Friday or today's Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
I did it on Friday, so we'll see what happens.
That's great. What about the Atlanta acting scene? Talk about that a little bit.
I think the Atlanta acting scene is good because it's not as big as the LA one, of course, but I think it's more what I would say is intimate.
Okay.
Like more people are just around each other, easily know, like, oh yeah, you know Anton. Yeah, I know Anton. I know blah blah blah. I know Ronald. We all just know each other. It's all in a smaller circle. Like I had one of my teachers that when I first started acting classes, he was like, LA, they move like ants.
They do.
He said that's the difference. He said that's the difference between Atlanta and LA. That's what he said. I never been to LA acting scene, so I wouldn't know he done it to me.
And we've talked to so many people now from this area. And it's like, I don't know. I don't even know. I didn't know anything about it until we started just talking to people. And it's like this network is just growing out there, and it's helping us out a lot. I hope we can all really kind of grow together, man.
And help each other.
I would just like to say that anytime, Anton, you have anything you want to do or say or anything, show, anything, you just let us know, man, and come right on here, because of that area and the people out there and Ron and you know and people, we just want to promote each other, you know,
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, I can't believe how fast we're suddenly growing, and I looks like you're definitely in an upward trajectory, unstoppably at this point. So it'd be great to see what comes of your 2 interviews, and if anything happens, let us know. And if there's
Oh yeah,
anything,
definitely.
yeah. So also, you seem to be doing like a lot of work that gives back to the community, either in person or on social media. Would you like to share anything with our audience about that?
I mean, the stuff that I've done, like most of life, since I've been paralyzed, I've always, I mean, I've done motivational speaking, of course. I've done that. I've done things like behind the scenes, like as far as like mentoring, sitting with other people that are disabled, like, because I mean, I've gone to the hospitals and actually sat with them for hours, like new kids that get paralyzed because they just don't see a way out. Like, some of them want to commit suicide, and they'll start to question like, what's their existence? And yeah, I mean, I just talk to them like they need somebody who's in their situation that they can relate to, because I've been paralyzed from like completely from the neck down. I couldn't move my arms when I first paralyzed. I can relate to every level of being paralyzed. There was Christopher Reeves, the guy that played Superman.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You know that sip and puff straw that he used to blow. He used to move his wheelchair with a straw.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Oh yeah, with his mouth.
Okay,
That's
I know,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
I did that for a year. I couldn't move anything below my neck. The doctors told me I would never move anything below my neck. 5% chance of ever getting my arms back. And they came back a year later, but I was totally paralyzed from my neck down for a year and a half, where I had to blow a straw and I couldn't move anything below my neck. So I can relate to everybody that's really paralyzed as far as when it comes to mobility, because I've been there where the worst of the worst is where you're from the neck down, supposedly, where you can't move anything below your neck. I've been in that situation where I couldn't move anything below my neck at the age of 16 for a year and a half. And I mean, I've been on life support. I've done it. I've been there.
Yeah. Bless your
I
heart.
can relate to
God
them.
bless you, man.
Yeah.
Thank God you got
Most
back
definitely.
to this, and because you are doing important work, man. I mean, those people out there are hurting and they need you, and they're going to look up to you, and you're going to make them feel better. You're going to make their lives better. This is like God's work that you're doing.
And this is coming back to you tenfold for what you're doing.
So God's going to take care of you, I think. So this is all going to come full circle, and you're like a hero.
You really
I
are.
just want to be a vessel and just try to put positive energy out there and just radiate it. And I mean, of course, it'll come back on you, because what you get what you give still. But at the end of the day, I mean, I want my legacy to know that I want my legacy to go down as somebody that never gave up, regardless of anything, and made a way out of like a guy that you can't even wipe his backside by himself, still to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, you're already a hero. You're going to go down a legend. You're already a hero.
Yeah.
You're going to go down a legend, Anton. I really, really appreciate you being here today. Is there anything else you want to share? Or Mark, you got anything to? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see like more as far as when it comes to the acting community. I'd like to see voiceover work when it comes to disabled cartoon characters.
Sure, that would be great for you.
So I'm looking forward to. I have one of the guys that I know, like, I've been talking to him on social media. He's doing a show called Supreme. I hope you guys can interview him one of these days. He's a very talented artist.
Sure.
He works with Disney. He works with Disney, actually.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
I would love to talk to that guy.
Sure.
I want you guys to talk. I'm going to connect you guys. I'll give you that page.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Hey, we
would love to have him
enough. Yeah.
We would love to have him. Do some modeling stuff, man. You're so handsome. Get in there.
Really? Yeah.
You know what? Don't be
so
quick being so modest.
They told me to do it, but I kind of brushed it off, just like my friend Michelle when she told me the acting. So maybe I'll do it eventually.
You have to do it. Okay. You know, you have to do it because people are asking you to do it. So go give it a try.
And you got a great voice. So I think the voiceover work well, you know, commercials, you name it.
Right? He probably sings too.
I did one commercial. I did the one. I think I sent you that one commercial, national. And I did another one that just for Southern Power Company in Alabama.
Wow.
So I did that one. It came out. They actually just renewed it last week. My agent told me.
That's great. And do you get paid every time it airs? No.
They give you a buyout, and then what they do is when they
Oh
renew, they give you
yeah, that's the option.
they pay you again. But I'm in like me. I mean, what I want to tap into more is, I mean, the cartoon voices. I mean, I could do cartoon
That would be
voices like
great.
Mickey Mouse. I could do all that stuff still. Even now, I can still do the Mickey Mouse voice.
And it's so popular with Hulu, Disney Plus, all these platforms.
Oh yeah. I mean, they'll be cool if they. I mean, eventually, I want to see them like the guy. He's doing that disabled show, and hopefully, if it gets picked up, hopefully, I can hop on there. And I told him I would love to voice one of the characters. So we'll see
Maybe
what
you'll get
comes
on
out
one
of
of the
it.
Star Wars things.
Oh yeah, that too. Especially being right here in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's great.
You know what a bunch of people are doing? They're making their little studios at home and stuff, you know, doing all these video things at home. You know, we hear everyone telling their story about doing their scenes at home and stuff. So you have that all built up now?
The thing is, my house, I have to go to my friend's house and do it. I actually, he has a soundproof place where he can do his voiceover work.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've been trained for voiceover work. I trained with Deborah Richards before she got sick, lupus. She had lupus, and I mean, it never took her out, but she's still in a nursing home, unfortunately. But I trained a whole 6-8 months with her, and she actually gave me the ropes about voiceover work, and she had been doing cartoon. I auditioned for like some Lego Batman or something like that. It was a long time ago, but it was
Still, that's big. Wow.
You should put your daily stuff on YouTube, dude.
You really should.
Just
yeah,
like,
you
just
need
like
to,
that,
you need
dude.
to do a YouTube channel.
Seriously. You have so many good vibes coming off you, man. You should share more.
I got to. I mean, eventually I'm going to, when I get like more help to hold the camera and all that. I got to get to it.
Oh yeah, okay.
For now, like with these auditions and training and all that, I'm just so
you're
locked
pretty
into
busy
a zone.
at your
I'm in a zone.
moment.
I'm in a zone.
Well, it's going to be wonderful seeing you rise, and go higher and higher, man. And just, I'm sorry. Did you have any other questions, Mark?
No, I mean, this is just you're an inspiration to everyone. And we can tell that you take after your parents who, served our country. It's just unreal,
Yeah, there's this great mom behind all these great guys. There's this great mom back there pushing. And I think you had the same. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mom, strong Jamaican woman that came to America and at 17 years old and worked her way up as an immigrant. So
yeah. That's America, all right. I love those stories. I love it.
It's great.
Well, it's great talking to you tonight.
It really was. We really appreciate it, Anton. As always, we are Mark 2.0.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
And watch the video through its entirety because it's such an inspiring message.
Thanks so much, Anton. Come back soon.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me. Much love.
Hey,
positive vibes.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Anton.
All right.